Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. I want to especially give a big shout out to all of the military and police force out there because you guys do such an important job for our society. You really do. And you guys are getting so much hate right now. And I've never understood this, by the way. And the police brutality thing, I get a little bit more, because you can point to cases here in the United States a little bit more home-hitting. But then you look at like military guys or, individual police officers who don't have anything to do with brutality or anything like that. And the problem is that a lot of radical, leftist groups, they just hate the police. They just hate the military. They don't see them as valuable because and I'm convinced this is because they come from very, very, very safe areas where the police do patrol. It's either you get the mother of somebody who is very upset because their child dies, so they're not thinking clearly. You can't really go off of what they say because they're going to want to think the best of their child. And they're not going to want to take responsibility for what their child did. So, of course, it's police brutality. It's not what their child did. So I can excuse that. I can excuse the hatred of somebody who has had their family member killed by a police officer. Your fucking excuse. I don't care. You hate the police all you want. Or, equally, if this wouldn't happen. So, if you had a bad experience with somebody in uniform, in the actual role of being with the U.S. military and following out some sort of U.S. military thing, it's you don't fucking have a thing to complain about. Those men keep us safe. And I know that's a really hard concept for some people on the leftist community to get. But at the same time, do these people really deserve the vitriol that they get from that side? The hatred? The go kill yourselves? The I hope you burn in hell? The God hates military people? The that's getting a little bit more into religious, right? You see how the extremes reflect each other, right? But you get stuff like wishing death upon people's families and just all sorts of horrible hatred, and this was before internet really exploded, right? You'd still see people with giant fucking signs that says military go fucking die, And I'm not exaggerating because I grew up in a very liberal town with a military father. And so to me, when I see things like, fuck all cops, kill all cops, fuck all military, kill all military are pigs, all military guys are bastards, they're all evil. No. What? No, that's my grandfather you're talking about. That's both of my grandfathers you're talking about. They weren't bastards. One could have been a father, but they were principled people who tried to do the best that they could. And not just my grandparents, my uncle, my brother-in-law, my dad, my cousin. You're telling me that all these men in my life who I admire and respect, who treat me with respect and love and appreciation, these men who I have seen throughout my life, heard stories about, I know these are good people. You're telling me that they deserve to die, that my family deserves to die too? Go fuck yourself. This is for all the military and police officers who get shit every day. I support you. I support you 100%. Your job is important. The men out there who are on the police force, they're not doing it because they want to crack heads like the leftists seem to think they do. They're doing it because they want to help their community. Same with the military guys. The reason why you join the military, I mean, there's a couple of different reasons, but the reason why you stay in the military, specifically go into like an officer role or something like that, in the vast majority, I think, of the lower guys, really join the military because they think that the U.S. government is good. They think that, and they're fighting for that. And they think that because our Constitution is based off of certain principles that give us the widest degree of freedom anywhere in the world. I mean, you got poverty and shit, but, if you're smart enough, if you're willing to work hard enough, if you're talented enough, you can rise out of poverty. And it's, you just gotta get a stable job, maybe find a partner to help you, get two people together who agree to work together, regardless of whether they're married or not. You have two incomes. You guys can buy an apartment and buy food and pay your bills together, certain bills together. It's I don't know, I'm making it seem easier than it is, but it's all about putting in the effort, right? If you put in the effort, you're not going to stay in poverty. Okay, so I'm getting a little off topic. But the point is, the military, and I know this is especially true with the military, but the military instills certain principles through, its regimented training. And those ideals are the ideals of freedom. And I'm sorry if you don't like freedom, but go fuck yourself. I like freedom. And if that's the ideals that the guys who are joining the military are, trying to follow, trying to promote, I don't know, why the fuck would you wish death upon them? It doesn't make any sense. You're wishing death upon people whose intentions are 100% good. I mean, not every single one of them, because you can't speak for all of them, but I know personally, from coming from a military family, how these people view the United States, how they view their jobs. These people don't deserve death. They don't deserve your hate or your vitriol. They're people. Do you get that? They're not a separate class. They don't hate you. They're not out to get you. And what good does holding up a sign that says, kill all military men, kill all police? What good does that do? How does that help? It's just you being an asshole. If you being an asshole is the only legacy that you want to leave on your life, then yeah, go ahead and do that. Go ahead, join Antifa, start bitching about the systemic police problem in the United States, when these fucking idiots don't even think about the fact that every every city, municipality, has their own police force. Gladstone, the city that I actually live in, right outside of Portland, has its own police force. Really, actually, good police force. They come up and down my street all the time. I live in a really safe area because we have police officers that just patrol constantly. It's a very small town. But our police force is different from Portland's police force. So if there's a systemic problem in one, that doesn't mean there's necessarily a systemic problem in another. Like, if you say that, say someone out in a more rural area, like a police officer out in Malala or something. And Malala, for those of you not from the Portland area, is, I don't know, 45 an hour minutes south of Portland, something like that. And if you were to take someone like that, like a police officer from there, and he were to show some sort of racism, You can't compare that to the police officers in Portland. You just can't. Even if there was a systemic problem with racism in the law, which I'm not saying there is, because I don't think there is, but if there was, that wouldn't be an indication that there's a systemic problem with racism in the police force all over the United States. It just doesn't make any sense. You're trying to generalize too widely. You take one specific event, which a lot of times, let's face it, you guys pick really bad events to, like, support. Every time you guys, like, pick an event, the reason why, like, I don't take Black Lives Matter seriously is because when you guys do pick an event, and you guys, and it's gone through, and the evidence is really, like, shown about it, it's always like, oh yeah, by the way, the guy that they shot, they thought he had a gun, and he wouldn't put his hands up. Oh, yeah, the guy who got shot, oh, he attacked the police officers and was trying to pound his head into the ground, and then he got shot. It's stuff like that. And you guys will lie about it, you'll put up false narratives about it, and all you're doing is spreading hatred. You're not fixing the problem. You're not fixing it at all. And every time you have a situation in which police brutality doesn't actually happen, but somebody gets shot and you guys claim it's police brutality, you are hurting your own arguments. And then you take to the streets and you destroy shit, and you force the cities to send out riot police. And this happens in Portland on a regular basis. Already this year, I've seen it happen several times downtown. It happens all the goddamn time, where they have to send out SWAT units, or not SWAT units, but riot units over and over again, because they don't want these motherfuckers ripping up the downtown Portland. You guys are assholes. Asshats. So military men, I love you. Policemen, thank you so much. I don't have quite as a close emotional attachment to you, but I really, really, really appreciate your job. Now, it is Memorial Day, though, so get the fuck out of, the limelight. Because it's the military men and women out there who really deserve our respect and love. They deserve our love. They really do. Because the thing is, there are forces out there that would like to destroy our country and destroy our freedoms and subjugate women and oppress women. And that's called Islam. And right now we're fighting Islam. We're fighting ISIS. ISIS, for those of you who think that the military is just a bunch of fucking cucks to the US government and they're evil and they should all die and all their families should die and all the vitriol and hate. Those people, they're the ones killing the terrorists. Do you want to go to a concert here in the United States, walk out, and then die? No, that is not what you want. That really isn't what you want. And you know what? If we stopped fighting over there, if we stopped at this point, because I know you can say whatever you want about Iraq, you can say whatever you want about Afghanistan and how much we fuck things up over there in Libya and so on and so forth. But fighting ISIS is a good thing. Fighting radical Islamic terrorists, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the Taliban, fighting those people, actually really good thing. Because we don't want Sharia law here in the United States. We don't want a law that says that if you steal something, you get your hand cut off. If you have sex with somebody who's not your husband, you get stoned to death. If you get raped and you can't prove it because a woman's testimony is half that of a man, then you are stoned to death. As a woman, that's terrifying. And I don't know why more feminists don't speak up against Islam. It is one of the most horrid ideologies, and it's antithetical to all the freedoms that the United States stand for. Our freedom of speech, if we lived under Sharia law, gone. You can't say anything that you want to say anymore. Because anything that you say that isn't either to promote Allah or, anything like that, probably looked down upon. If you're actively criticizing Islam and Allah, you get killed under Sharia law. There's anti-blasphemy laws. So any sort of freedom of speech that you have, if you lived under Sharia, it'd be gone. The Second Amendment, I actually don't know how they feel about the Second Amendment. They might be pretty pro that because they're pretty pro-killing. But my guess is that they would probably disarm the local population, would be my guess, and only Muslims would be allowed to hold guns. That would be my guess anyway. I don't know under Sharia law what that would look like. But I know that Islam, the way it acts, doesn't want people to have control. They generally wipe out any sort of peoples or ideology that is not homogeneous to theirs. And that's even different sects of Muslims that they will wipe out. It's a very, very violent religion. So, a lot of our freedoms that we have, especially as women, God, how terrifying would it be to have to put on a fucking burqa every day, not being able to feel the sun, being every moment of your life being controlled. You're not your own person. You're a slave. So, as a woman who really doesn't want to be enslaved, who likes having freedom, who likes having a father who spoils me. I'm going to be honest. I'm a fucking millennial. I'm spoiled. I'm self-aware, but I know I'm spoiled. Putting it out there. And, a man who sends his daughter to an expensive private Catholic university. Mind you, I got a big scholarship for about half the tuition, so they could afford it. But partly me. A fucking shit ton of money that I got in tuition. But a man who is an evil man who wants to do evil things doesn't treat his daughter that way. He doesn't send her to, a fancy private school. He doesn't support her goals. You look at the military men in our country, a lot of them are family guys. A lot of them have women in their lives that they want to protect. They have, other men in their lives that they want to protect. They really just want to serve. They want to help. And as a woman, considering what the alternative is, thank you. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart to all the military men and women out there, thank you so much for keeping our country safe. And I really, really mean this. Because to me, Islam's terrifying. It's one of the most terrifying things, and I don't want it here. I want to keep my freedom of speech. I want to keep my right to work. I want to keep all of my freedoms. And you know what? You military people, you make it happen. And I'm very, very appreciative of it. So enjoy your day off. Enjoy family time. Enjoy the barbecues and the sun and all the fun. You guys deserve it. And for those of you serving overseas right now, I really appreciate you guys too. And thank you so much for being willing to protect our country even through the holidays. Because I know you guys don't get breaks. So I appreciate you. You do a hard job. You risk your lives. And that sacrifice for our country and for our ideals. While hard, and death is not, never like a good choice, but there are certain principles that are worth fighting for, in the United States, regardless of what you think of the current government, regardless of what you think of the current cultural situation, the country does stand for really good principles. So now I'm a little emotional. I gotta go spend some time with my family. Going to go visit my grandfather's grave at a memorial graveyard, for military people. So then I get to go see my sister's baby at the park. I'm like having withdrawals because I'm baby crazy and I really like that little girl. And, I'm auntie. I'm always around. They can't get rid of me. No, my sister really appreciates it. Anyway, final thought. Thank you so much, military men and women. I appreciate you so much. All right, have a great day.